So when Aqua leaves, that's two people down, Barbie and Aqua. What were your final thoughts on both of them based on living with them?
My final thoughts on them.
At the time.
At the time, my final thought on Barbie was I was like, all right, she's went back home to go fuck, and that's what she wants to do. So goodbye. That's one person off the damn list of the competition. Aqua, we had like a Jack and Jill bathroom. Like we had our own like tub and toilet, but our sink part like connected in the middle. So like we would bump, like brushing our teeth and everything. And like I said, like I knew she was going through things, but I really thought with everything going on, like I really, I kind of was upset to see her going. And it was and I was the only one that was upset to see her gone. Like I was like, I felt, I was like, this would have been a really good opportunity. Also, I was like, it's less person on the damn competition. So I was excited about that. So
Yeah, I was a little disappointed because I mean people were pleasantly surprised when they saw her dance. Like some of the girls weren't expecting it.
no, I wasn't expecting it, but she can dance.
And I thought she was actually really cute too. It's like, and I think maybe people thought that she was an underdog, but if she stayed, I think she would have
If
a.
she would have stayed and Joseline wanted to pick an underdog
Hmm.
for the winner,
Yeah.
it would have went to her. It would have went to her because she was the real underdog. She was the real fucking underdog. If that's how Jocelyn wanted to give out the money to the underdog, which I thought, that was like a little humble side of Jocelyn to give the money to the underdog, somebody that needed it and, showed the best progression. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it would have went to her for
And it
sure.
would have fit the story too,
Yeah.
because of her living situation and all that.
Uh-huh.
It probably would have helped for the viewing side of the show.
Right.
So after all of that happens, Jocelyn tells you guys to get dressed up and sits everybody down together. What was the vibe like with the eight of you and Jocelyn? Was everyone on the same page, or do you think it was probably best for some other people to go?
I think we all agreed that we were okay with them leaving just because it's a competition, number one. Number two, like we came there for dancing, and obviously, Barbie didn't give a fuck about the dancing. She just gave a fuck about being the bottom bitch. You know what I mean? And she thought she was just going to be the bottom bitch because she knew Jocelyn, but so did Lucky. So I don't know why she felt like she was obligated to get that title. And with Aqua, I think we most of the girls were just happy because she was just so like negative energy. But like I said, I shared a bathroom with her, so I saw the good side of her. You know what I mean? So like when I would be like, no, but she's okay, everybody would be like, there goes Lexi Blow, always being like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Loving everybody. And I'm like, no, it's not that I love the girl. It's just like, she really is like, she's really a humble person. Did you do an interview with her?
I haven't. She hasn't been. She hasn't. I don't think she wants to interview with me.
No. If you actually get to interview her, you'll see what I'm talking about. You definitely will.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and I don't see why that's such like a negative thing in people's eyes that like you're because like you said, you see the good in everybody, even if it's just 1 ounce of something positive. So I don't
Mhm.
see that as a bad thing.
Right.
By the way, how often did you practice Jocelyn's choreography once you had it on video? Because I know she allowed you guys to record it.
I didn't stop. I didn't stop.
Yeah.
And when she made Lucky captain, Lucky is more of a night owl. So she would want to start practice at like 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And I told you I get up early. So I was been practicing in my room, sweating and everything, ready took my shower. And I'm just like, they're like, okay, time for practice. And I'm like, bitches, I already got this shit in the bag.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like I would show up to like one practice, boom, 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 just so I could get the feel of doing it with other people. And then I was out. Like it was really just her really practicing with the rest of the girls. Like I didn't really practice with them because I just did so much practicing on my own.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even to the point like when because filming wasn't there in the morning, like I would video chat my friend, and she used to do cheerleading competition and everything, and I sent her the video too. So I would go on live with her and I would do the routine, and she would like, yeah, okay, move your hand more like this. You know what I
Okay.
mean? So like I did a lot of practicing on my own. And then you could see it. Every episode where I dance, I killed it.
Yeah.
I killed it. And did you watch tonight's episode?
I did.
Killed it.
Period. Yeah, you did really good.
Thank you.
So, you know how you guys like broke up into groups sometimes to practice your choreography? And there were certain people, I mean, sometimes like everybody was maybe like offbeat from each other or off sync or whatever, maybe early or a little bit late. Did that ever throw you off?
No, because I knew when you're dancing for an artist and not as a dance crew, you know what I mean? You have to dance to the words of their song. Their song is about the words, you know what I mean? So I connected every move to the words of her song. Like if you listen to her song, when she talks about money, she's going like this. When she says lick you up and down, like you go like this on a chair, it's like lick you up and down. Like, so I connected every move with the words of the song. And I would tell them that, but nobody wanted to pick me as captain. So,
Yeah. I mean, that's a smart move to do, to connect with all the words.
Mm-hmm.
And for a little bit, it seems like things are starting to be a little bit more positive in the house. But then there's some tension brewing between Lucky and Yummy. Did you feel that Lucky was threatened at all by Yummy?
Yeah, but Lucky's not gonna say that or show it. But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like, I mean, Yummy gives you a run for your money. She really does.
Yeah.
She really does.
And then later on in that episode, Sapphire had a heart-to-heart with you and Lucky about her insecurities with her body and everything. Did you relate to her story at all?
I could relate to her story a lot just because, we started dancing, like we're around the same age. So I know, like, when it comes to the dancing world, like when we started dancing, like it wasn't like an Instagram thing, so it really was like an underground, people didn't really say, oh, I'm a dancer. Nowadays people were like, I'm a dancer, I'm a stripper, it's more accepted. There was no like Cardi B's and like all these people that came up from dancing. We didn't really have anybody to look up to. But I understand it a lot because people who got those ass shots then, like, were having medical problems later on. Or, we've even heard about like people dying from it, you know what I mean? Like it would get infected or whatever. Also, like, it moves around, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It moves around in your body. So she was talking about like the bottom part of her butt was like starting to sag, like, so it wasn't like being around anymore. It was kind of like dropping because the weight of it was starting to drop. So I could understand and relate to that just because I know a lot of girls that are going through the same thing. So yeah.
And it must eventually, if it gets to that point, be painful.
Yeah, it could be painful. And, just like she said, it's easy to get done, but to fix it, and a lot of doctors don't want to touch it because it's not their work.
Yeah.
Or, it's something that doctors are learning right now how to deal with, because these problems now are happening. And, it's just a new procedure altogether. Really is. Mm-hmm.
My next question is connected to this, but I wanted to ask your permission first because I didn't want to ever like off as disrespectful, and I don't want to assume anything. I don't know anything. But so my question, I can cut this out obviously if you say no, was have you ever had any work done prior, and if so, do you feel like it was like, how did you feel about it?
Okay, so I got these done for sure, and I absolutely love them. Spent a lot of money on them. And then I also got stomach work done as well, but I didn't get it done because like I was fat or anything. I got a lot of stretch marks from my daughter. I have 3 children, so my 2 boys I had young, I bounced back like nothing. Then after I had my daughter, I had a lot of stretch marks, and actually the club where they filmed season 1, G5, I work at that club too. Well, I'm a traveling dancer. I work at a lot of clubs. And I went to G5 after I had my daughter. She was probably like around 4 or 5 months. I went into G5, go back to work, go back to my clubs or whatever. So I came in and they let me work or whatever. And then, it's a full new club. And the house mom was like, so your body looks different. And I'm like, I had a baby. That's why I haven't been here in like a year or whatever. And she was like, well, you still look good, but you have your stomach, your stretch marks, whatever. You can't get on stage.
Are you serious? That is so messed up. I feel like that's like
So
discrimination.
like I said, like with like, the pressure
Yeah.
back then, the way it used to be, it was really like you had to look a certain way. And I say that too, in my interview on the show, like there was a point in time where you really had to look a certain way. Mind you, my daughter's 6. Today's her, 6th birthday. So this was like 6 years ago. You know what I mean? So I was just like, what? You know what I mean? I'm not fat. I mean, I'm fat in all the right places. My ass got fatter, my thick, you know what I mean? My legs are, you know what I mean? And I got my boobs done because I always wanted to get them done, but I didn't think my stomach was an issue just because of stretch marks. So I'm like, well, I'm not gonna not get on stage. I'm missing out on a lot of money with that. You can make a lot of money on the floor, but I can dance. You know what I mean? I'm a good dancer. So when I get on stage, that's a lot of money. And I'm just like, what the fuck? So I cried that day and I was so sad.
Yeah.
And I made an appointment with the same doctor that did my boobs. And the doctor was like, I have no fat to give you a tummy tuck. Like, you're not fat. Your stomach's not hanging for me to cut it and give it to you. So in the club in Philly that I worked at, Onyx, there was a girl, she has her body done or whatever. And I'm just like, I really want to get, do something with my stomach. And she was like, girl, you're going to have to go out the country.
Yeah.
That's the only place that's going to give you lipo to pull enough skin because you're skinny, you know what I mean? To, cut them stretch marks off. So that's what I did.
That's crazy. I mean, like to think that knowing you have the talent and the skills to perform and do your job, but you can't be accepted because of something that's like out of your control. You had a damn baby. I mean, that's
right. And mind you, it wasn't like I didn't already work at that club before. I'm already hired. You get what I'm saying? That's like, if I worked anywhere, say like you lost an arm in a car accident or like, you know what I mean? Or whatever, your job's not allowed to be like, oh, you can't work here anymore.
Exactly. It's discrimination.
You get what I'm saying? It's discrimination. But, strip clubs get away with a lot of discrimination because we're self-employed. So we're contracted workers. So basically,
are you paying for this or not?
Yeah, for real.
They should have paid for that if they wanted you to do that.
Right.
Well, they wanted to keep you, because they knew that you were talented.
Yeah, they had to keep, these clubs know, like, I make good money. I have people that still come see me. I have clientele.
Yeah.
But so her way to get away around that was you can't get on stage.
I feel like now in this day and age, stretch marks are so much more like accepted and loved by men. If only it was a couple of years later, you wouldn't have had that.
Yeah, if it was a couple of years later, it wouldn't have been a big deal at all.
Yeah.
And actually, like I'll send you pictures of what I looked like after I had my daughter, before I did any work or whatever. You clearly see like my ass is still the same or whatever. But like when they did my stomach, they also did like an internal like corset. So like every time you have kids, your stomach muscles like rip. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they went back inside and they tightened it. So so now my waist is smaller.
Okay. So do you have any advice or words of wisdom for anybody that hasn't done anything to their body and is thinking about it?
If you want to do it, go ahead and do it. Cause like I said, I always want to do my boobs and I love them. It boosts confidence and makes you feel better. But to do something for somebody else, don't do it. Because, I work at so many other clubs and I should have never let that one club, do that to me. But it was my first time ever, anybody ever, saying something about my body. So it really hurt me. And, it just made me feel like this is what I have to do. I have to get it done.
Well, I'm glad that you're more confident now. I mean, obviously not because of the surgery, but that you don't care about all that stuff, and hopefully nobody ever has to say this
Hmm.
thing again. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah, no, yeah, it is.
So, moving forward with what happens next in the show, you guys have that meet and greet. Was anybody too focused on making it about themselves rather than a collective when you guys were there?
Making it about, no, I think that was the first time we actually all got along. We had a good time. And then after the meet and greet, like, I mean, you could see like we're all vibing, we're all dancing. Like we even made a little circle, like, and we all get in a little circle. We were dancing. For the first time, I feel like we all got along. Yeah.
What were your thoughts on the music video when they were showing it? And did
My
you
God.
Barbie's
We were
camp
all we were all shocked and we were all pissed.
about
And
that?
we were like, no wonder why she felt like she needed to be the bottom bitch.
Yeah.
No wonder, you know what I mean? Like, no wonder why you put this damn girl in a music video, like, you know what I mean? And all this stuff. And we were just like, what the fuck, Joseline? Like, what were you thinking? But then at the same time, like, Jocelyn, probably her and Jocelyn always hung out with just the two of them. She
Yeah.
probably didn't know like what her character was like outside of, their friendship. So
Yeah. In the same night, Jocelyn makes Yummy Cabaret captain. Did you think that that was valid? And what did you think of Sapphire challenging Jocelyn's decision?
I thought it was valid because Yummy can dance. As much as we all know that she's a fucking nut, we all knew that she could dance.
Not a
You know
fucking.
what I mean? Yeah, she's a girl's a nut, but we all knew that she could dance. So I understood that. Her getting everybody together and to respect her on that point as a captain, no. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? If anything, she should have just maybe had her be a co-captain and Lucky still be the captain because together it would have been stronger. But yeah, no. Mm-mm.
Well, the second that she becomes captain, she actually calls out Natural for strong arming her during the practice session. Did you
That's what
expect?
I'm talking about. That makes her so weird because
Yeah.
it's like you and her have a friendship.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We don't even know. Like the house is so big. Their room is like on the other side of like it's just like long ass hall. Their room is on the other side. Then when you come into the middle of the hall, there's 3 doors and it's like big Lexus, Chanel's, and Bosstecs. Then you go like down the hall around the corner. Then you have Sapphire and Lucky's room, then my room, and then would have been Aqua's room all the way in the back. So like what goes on all the way on the other side of the house, I don't know. Like they're always like missing in action. But we always knew that they were always together because when we all get together, they would be missing in action.
Yummy,
Yeah,
right?
Yummy and Natural. So for her to call her out like that, I'm thinking in my head, like, why didn't you talk to her about this? You guys had a whole 24 hours from when we practiced, had the meet and greet, and then, you know what I mean? And we do this. Like, why would you wait till now to say something? And that right there is when the nuttiness came to like, okay, you're more than just like now you're fake because for you to do that to your friend. But then she says in her interviews that they're not friends. So I don't understand.
I was confused.
Yeah. I'm like confused as hell. Like that they're not. She's like, oh, well, I just met the girl. Okay, but you just met the girl, but you were always with the girl. You're
Yeah.
always hanging out with the girl.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know.
I just, for anybody that's watching, for anything that I'm about to say, it's just because I think it's kind of funny. But I do like Yummy. I like every single person that I've talked to and interviewed with. But I don't know. You guys are so good at like with your guys' impersonations on everybody. Like you guys doing the Yummy voice. All of you guys are perfect at it. I'm like, when you guys say the energy shit, I'm like, it kills.
Yeah. It's because she's so theatrical. Like she would do that girl needs to be on Broadway. Like doing plays and stuff like that. I can see her like any character that they give her to do, like that girl could like do it. You know what I mean? So like, when she's mad, she's like, ah, you know what I mean? When she's happy, she's like, ah, like So, and then like, like today's episode when she's like nervous, she's like, I'm so nervous. Like she's very like theatrical with all her emotions.
Yeah.
So I thought like when she was speaking on natural, like that comes, her theatrical was coming out, and then she was speaking over me, and we're just like, whoa, like, because that was the first time she showed that type of emotion to all of us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was always, I'm respectful, I'm good energy, I'm this, you know what I mean? And that's what I got from her. I really thought like, that's who she was. She was the one that was, energy, focused, gonna keep everybody happy. She blows balloons up, she's giving people candy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I've never seen anybody do this weird shit before, but I'm just like, this is her.
Yeah.
And then for her to like switch and, be very passionate about the way she was talking about natural, that's how I feel like you're so passionate and how you were talking about her. We do know she really was your friend. Whether you want to admit to us or to anybody else, like Yummy, if you're watching this, like, you really had a place in your heart for that girl because you could just see it. You could just see it.
Okay, so this is one thing that I just thought about because I've heard it like rumored from fans, so I'm sure there's not much credibility there. Do you know anything, or do you think that they may have at one point hooked up?
I don't know if they hooked up, but do I think they have? I mean, if I was good friends with a porn star, I would have.
I mean, Yummy says she wanted her to be her girlfriend.
Oh, she did.
When I interviewed
her, she wants her to be her girlfriend, but not her friend.
I was confused. Especially because we know what happens. And I'm like, right. But you want her to sit on your face. It's like, what?
Yeah, that's just weird. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that they did something, you know what I mean? But then like natural, she's so cutthroat. I think she would have just been like, yeah, we fucked and it wasn't that good, or it was good. You know what I mean? Yeah. So maybe they didn't, because natural, she, especially how she feels now towards her, I don't think she gives a fuck to say anything if anything would have happened. But I mean, me personally, I mean, if me and Natural was close, I definitely would want to know what that's about.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it probably would have come out by now. So on top of all that's going on with Yummy and Ms. Natural arguing, people start to have this issue with Bosstec because something happened in the van. Can you go more into depth about what we didn't see? Because we saw like a little snippet and I didn't really see much. I know that people were talking about her drunk antics, but
she was just very, very intoxicated that day. So intoxicated that day that she doesn't remember what she was even saying to her friend Chanel, telling her to shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? All this, and all Chanel was trying to do was trying to get her to calm down because she was being very loud and disrespecting everybody, like everybody. And we're all at this point like, we're not going to argue with a drunk person. Right. You know what I mean? And we're like talking to you and like it's going through one ear and out the other. And you know what I mean? You know how it is when you're talking to somebody who's drunk. Like they just, you know what I mean? They're not comprehending what's going on or what they're really even talking about. So, but she was being very disrespectful. And even I told her, I was like, Bosstec, like, calm down. Like, you know what I mean? Okay, I get it. All right, cool. Like, you know what I mean? Relax, you know? I was even trying to get her to calm down. I was even telling her, like, you know, you're being rude to your friends. You know what I mean? Like, I was trying to, like, keep the peace. You know what I mean? Because we don't have any security on the van. Like, I don't know what's going to happen, you know? So, you know, I was trying to keep the peace or whatever. And we all told her, you know, that she was drunk, you know, she was being disrespectful and all that. So I kind of thought it was weird for her to be like, oh, like, you guys didn't say anything. You were talking behind my back. And we're all like, no, we clearly told you to calm down. We clearly told you you were drunk. We clearly told you, you know what I mean? We all did. Yeah. So that's how I knew, like, it was kind of like a blackout type of drunk, because she doesn't even remember that we were all really, like, And we weren't even being mean about it. We weren't even like, no, you shut the fuck up. Like
Yeah.
like we were all like, just calm down.
Right.
So like, I just thought it was like not very like cool of her to like be mad at all of us because we were, I mean, how did you expect us to feel?
And I was going to bring that up because she was pretty receptive with her reaction to everybody confronting her during the rehearsals, and then like versus her being defensive back at the house.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which I didn't understand either, because it was like during rehearsal, she understood and she agreed and she got it. But then you also see during rehearsal, she started drinking again.
Yeah.
So I think that's what changed her whole mood.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think like when she gets a little too drunk, she gets aggressive.
Yeah.
So I felt like at the time when then even she was even drinking, like even at the house, like, you know what I mean, after that. So when we sat down and we talked, you guys don't actually know, but that was the same day. I'm pretty sure it was the same day. If it was not the same day, anyways, when we all sat down, that was the end of the day. So she was drunk again. You know what I mean? So I just felt like she just, her emotions were just at an all high and wasn't trying to be understanding because she was just drinking again.
Yeah. And you guys claimed that at the hotel rooms uh, that you guys noticed Bosstec's heavy drinking again. Are there any stories that you can tell from that situation that we didn't see?
Okay, so no, what we were talking about was when we all flew in, while we were waiting, we stayed in a hotel room for like a day
Yeah.
because different people flew in different times. Then the van came and picked us up in the lobby.
Yeah.
And then we came to the mansion. So like some people flew in the morning, at night or whatever. So they got us a hotel room. You know what I mean? Waiting for everybody, everybody to come in. Some people were still flying in. Some people came in that day. You know what I mean? But we all met in the lobby at the hotel room. My flight was like in the afternoon. So I actually got to sleep in the hotel room, wake up. You know what I mean? Some people flew in that day or whatever. So what we were saying is when we were waiting in the lobby at the hotel room, that's all of our first impression of her was being drunk.
Yeah.
The first day that we all met each other, she was drunk. And I wouldn't say like she was intoxicated drunk. She definitely wasn't intoxicated. She definitely could hold a conversation, you know what I mean? Still looking good, put together, but she was drinking.
So Bosstec started arguing with you when you called her out about the drinking situation. Do you think, going back on what you said a little bit earlier, do you think the reason why is because, like you were saying, like maybe she had a blackout moment and she didn't recall anything?
Yeah, it had to be. It had to be because like I wasn't on her side for the way she was acting, but I was on her side of showing compassion on knowing that that was the reason why she was acting like that. And I was really like, calm down. You're speaking to your friend, and I could see how Chanel was hurt by that, the way she was speaking to her. And I was trying to get her to like snap out of it, like, look what you're doing to your friend. You know what I mean? Like you're causing commotion. And like tomorrow, like you're gonna feel bad about this, but she didn't. Instead, she was mad at her, which I didn't understand that either. I don't understand like why she was mad at her from the way she was acting, but she was like, "Oh, but you didn't come to me and tell me." But also, when you see in the morning, it's early. It's in the morning. Some people are still sleeping, and Bosstec obviously was still sleeping because she stayed up still later. She was drinking or whatever, and me and Sapphire were talking about it. And it wasn't that I was talking about it behind her back. I was reflecting with my friend about what happened the night before, just like anybody would.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're going to talk to you like, yo, like last night was crazy, right? Like, you know what I mean? And that wasn't even the first thing we were talking about. We were talking about, you know what I mean, the meet and greet. And then it got into that conversation. And then, Chanel walked in. And of course, she walked in with her drink in her hand. You know what I mean? She's like, oh, I want to show you, the pictures of the meet and greet or whatever. And then that's what we're like, she started talking about it. But, I even said it on camera. I'm like, so when you gave her your stuff, you didn't tell her anything about, how she was acting? And she was like, no, I didn't, So I don't think she told her because I felt like she was so upset and she was mad about it. So she just didn't want to talk about it. You know what I mean? I don't think wasn't going to tell her because, I don't know. It's just like, I'm not part of their friendship and I don't know them as a friend because I never hung out with them, the two of them. So it's hard for me to speak on that. But for me, and what I had to say was, I'm just saying what everybody else is saying. So for her to come at me and be like, oh, but it really hurts my feelings. But how can it hurt your feelings when this is what this is what this is for? This
Yeah.
is for us to all talk and to let, things out.
Yeah.
And I was just letting her know, like, you really were being belligerent and you were being rude to your friend. I wasn't saying it for you to be mad at me,
If the roles were switched and you were in Chanel's shoes with that situation with Bosstec, what would you have done? Would you have even tried to bother to salvage that
No,
friendship?
I would have told her. That's my friend.
Yeah.
No matter how, for me and my friends, no matter how mad I am or upset I am, I'm gonna tell you about what we just went through because I'm not the type of person that throws friendships away. You know what I mean? Like I like to, come to a conclusion and agreement. Whether we talked about it and didn't get nowhere, because then like I'm I'm a Libra. Then I came to that conclusion. Okay, we can't be friends anymore. I feel like Chanel should have been there more for her. But then she said she had a lot going on or whatever. But still, you still had that moment amongst of everything that you had going on. You still had that moment when you gave her stuff, you know what I mean? Or whatever. I don't know what it was. But when you gave her stuff back the next morning, that was your moment to be like, yo, hey, like last night, you was, you know what I mean? What was up with you last night? So I agree with Bosstec when it comes to her as a friend telling her about that. She should have told her about that. And maybe she wouldn't have got mad at me for telling her about that because it's coming from somebody that's not even your friend. Right. So of course she's going to be like, well, you know what I mean? It should have came from her friend regardless.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I definitely see both sides of the story, but I completely get how you feel too.
Mm-hmm.
So then Yummy starts expressing her feelings about the group and how she doesn't feel good being around you guys. Did that catch you guys by surprise?
Very, because she's such of a good energy and bubbly, type of person that we never saw that side of her. So for her to like blow up and then she's like standing on the couch and she's like, you know what I mean, like that in everybody's face. And then I was just like, whoa, like where did this come from? You know what I mean? It was like she was like, them little trolls that be underneath the bridge, like, ah. Like I was just like, what the fuck is going on? Like, you know what I'm talking about? I don't know. Maybe I'm showing my age. Maybe I'm showing my age, but a lot of cartoons, where the troll comes like, you can't cross my bridge. You know what I mean? Like she was like, ah, and I was just like, what is this? Like she turned to like a little demon. I'm like, where did this come from?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
A whole different personality in person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot who it was, but one of the girls literally said the exact same thing about the troll under the bridge.
Did they?
I'm dead.
No, because that's what you like, because you see her eyes got big and she was like, and we were just like, whoa, like, where the fuck did this come from? Yeah. I didn't know she was gonna like do what Aqua did, like come in with a flying kick at natural. Like I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like,
yeah. So when she expressed all that, all her feelings, how was your relationship with her before that versus where you stood with her now? Or sorry, where you stood with her afterwards?
I just seen too much of a switch of a personality. So for me, I just stood back from her more. I already wasn't really around her that much, but when I saw that, I definitely was like, I definitely don't want to be around her because you might all of a sudden get mad and flip out on me for something so small and so stupid, like counting over me. Like you see it on camera. She's like, but it's on camera. But then we all watch it on camera and we're like, she's not talking over you. Like you really took that like to heart. And I think you took that to heart because you really cared about her as a friend, even though you don't want to admit to it. But yeah.
So with the talking over and all this stuff that happens, it leads into one of the biggest beefs on the show later on in the season, with Miss Natural and Yummy, and they start to bump heads. Did you see this coming? And were you on anybody's side?
No, I didn't see it coming at all. I didn't think that that wasn't something that couldn't be resolved. I didn't think it was that big of a deal. But she was so passionate about it, and natural is more of a like, once you get on her bad side, she's like, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't really think that they couldn't resolve it at all, especially since, they smoke together, they're on the same side of the house. Like, you would think they would have more time to like resolve that. um I agree with natural when it comes to Yummy, because Yummy was just out of place and out of order with the whole situation. Whether you want to call her a friend or not, I feel like that was something that definitely could have been resolved, and it was just traumatic for no reason.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And did your opinion change a little bit? I mean, I know you already had your reserved feelings towards Yummy at that point, but she then outs to Natural that Jocelyn said that she was toxic.
Oh
Um,
yeah. After that, like I definitely like cut cut her off. Like, because at this point, like, as a hairdresser, a lot of people just vent about their day to their hairdresser. So if Jocelyn's getting her hair done and she's venting to her hairdresser, and I just know, like, just from working at the hair salon, if somebody's sitting on the chair next to me and getting their hair done and they're venting or whatever, you get what I'm saying? You don't go off and you don't say anything about it. And even like in the barbershop, guys talk or
right.
whatever, you know what I mean? And I don't really think like, just because Jocelyn said that doesn't mean like she's still gonna feel that way after she's done getting her hair done. Like, a lot of times people vent to their hairdressers and makeup artists as more like a therapy, like, I'm gonna just get it off my chest. And now I feel better about it. And now I feel differently about it. You get what I'm saying? Because I've done people's hair, and then I'm like, oh, so you remember, you were talking to me about your husband, and now, oh, we're good now. We just went on vacation. And just like, 4 weeks ago when I did her hair, she was like, I'm over him. I want to leave him. You know what I mean? So sometimes, like, it's just a way for people to just, get shit off of their chest, talk to somebody who they're comfortable with.
Yeah.
This woman been doing her hair every day. Like, Jocelyn, makeup, hair done, slave every fucking day. So obviously she built some type of relationship with her,
Yeah.
I mean, with
Confided
her,
in that person.
yeah, with her team.
Yeah.
So you don't ear hustle. You don't fucking ear hustle. And for all of us, one thing that we all have in common is that we all come from the hood. We all fucking know you don't ear hustle, you don't pillow talk. That's against the code. You just don't do shit like that. So for me, like, it was wrong. It was totally wrong for her to ear hustle, to pillow talk, any of that, to try to get advantage, to hurt Natural's feelings. And Jocelyn was right about that. Like, you really use that to try to get her. Like, we all knew, Natural takes meds to help control, what I mean, her anger issues, you know what I mean, and all that.
Yeah.
So we all know when you're dealing with somebody like that, that you don't do shit to push their buttons, because they might react a way that they can't control. And they might not feel that way, but that's just how they're going to react. You get what I'm saying? And for you to have been her friend, or you say you're not her friend, but for you to have spent the most time with her in that house, especially when she was going through all that fucking drama, you know what I mean, with her divorce and her son, and all this stuff. So, like, I don't know if she thought like Jocelyn was going to be like, yeah, I did say that. Jocelyn's not your friend. Justin's not gonna back you up on that shit. Justin is not your friend. Justin don't kick it up with you. Justin not with any of us in the house. So I don't fucking understand why she thought like Justin was gonna have her back on that one. Like, she should have known better.
Well, once that's brought up, Natural like explodes on Jocelyn. Did you think that she was out of line, or was it justified? And did you feel like Natural deserved to go home?
Natural blowing up like that was predictable, just because of, her being on meds and everything. You know what I mean? You're just gonna know, like, somebody who's crying and like unbalanced like that, like, they're just gonna blow up. Was it unexpected? No. Was it disrespectful? yes, because I don't feel like it had to get to that, all the yelling and aggression and all that. Did she deserve to go home? I don't think she deserved to go home because honestly, that was the first time she blew up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe she just needed time to herself to calm down after that or whatever. I don't think, that was, you know, for her to go home right away. But then also, like, this is Joseline's show. She's the boss. So could she have handled it better? Yes. I felt like she should have just walked away, or you know what I mean? If she wanted to be part of the cabaret and that was, but if it was all up in the air and she didn't give a fuck, well then no. Because if that's how you feel and you're upset about it, no matter who it is, I feel like you should be true to yourself. But out of respect and wanting to be in the cabaret, and you know what I mean? Like everybody has a boss sometimes that they don't agree with, but you still got to do it because that's your boss.
Yeah. That scene was heated.
Yeah, it was a lot. And then also with us like having to work together, like you can't just go up in flames like that so fast. You know what I mean? I felt like she should have collected herself and then talked to Joseline about how she felt about the situation. But then also, I don't know what her and Joseline talked about because she says, Joseline, you knew this, you knew that. And I'm like, well, what did Joseline know that she said that, ticked her off? I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know.
Apparently, she said that they had like a talk off camera where she told her about everything that was going on at home with her son. And then when they were on camera, she said that she just like pretended like they never talked about it. So she
Oh,
knew
okay.
she was upset, and then like once the cameras were on, she pretended like that never happened.
Oh, okay, okay. So then I understand then why she would be upset about it because if you talk to somebody about something and then they act like they don't know, but then Jocelyn was saying that she did talk to her about it, but she didn't know the extent of it. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So it's just basically a he say, she say type of a
Right.
situation. I guess we will never know but besides the two of them.
So moving forward from that, we actually get a more lighthearted part of the show and a scene where this therapist comes in and you talk a bit about your past hardships. Are you willing to give us a little bit more insight on the setbacks that
Hmm.
you had to deal with and
Hmm.
what shaped you into the person that you are today?
Hmm. Sure.
I want to give the fans an opportunity that don't know you as well and that maybe have not been following you for a long time to understand like what you've been through. Maybe they can connect with you that way.
Right. Basically, my stepfather passed away. My stepfather was a father to me. He was not my stepfather, he was my father. I have my father, but he was my father as well. And he overdosed on drugs. And it was a lot, that was my mom's love of her life. They
Mhm.
had a child together. My little brother was 6 years old at the time. Um, and I was 16. I was just entering my adulthood. And it was just like, I was pretty much left to take care of my little brother. We didn't have food in the house. My mom wasn't working. Bills weren't getting paid.
You had to grow
Electricity.
fast.
Yeah, like electricity is getting cut off. I'm ending up having to work two jobs. I'm only 16, so I'm working at KFC and Taco Bell
Mhm.
and at a hair salon as an assistant just so I could have a cell phone. You know what I mean? Pay my little car insurance for my little 95 Honda, like get around and stuff. And, that was really hard. And then 2 years after that, I got pregnant to, my first child. And my mom had met her second husband. So I feel like my mom moved on really fast to try to fill that void, in her heart. And pretty much was just like, oh, you're grown now. You're a senior in high school. You know what I mean? Like she pretty much was like, left me just to pretty much figure out my life on my own. And for me to be pregnant with my first child and already losing my stepfather, I felt like, it really hurt me. Like I felt
Yeah.
like my mom should have been there. You know what I mean? Like I
Didn't have
don't
a lot of
know.
support.
Yeah, I didn't have no support. My family on my mom's side is very small. because my mom is mixed. My mom's black and white. So my mom was born in, in the 60s. So when my mom was born, like in 40 states, interracial marriage is just illegal. So I already don't know my family because of just that situation. Like, the white side of my family is non-existent. I don't know who they are. They pretty much abandoned my grandmother when she married my grandfather. You know what I mean? So for me to lose my mom was a lot because I don't really have family like that at all. And then she moved. She moved like 4, almost 5 hours away with her new husband. So then basically I was living on my own with a child. Like, a lot of like young moms have their mom to watch their kid.
Yeah, of
You know what I
course.
mean? To
At least have
go.
some type of support, especially after someone passing. That's already
Yeah.
bad enough.
Right. No, I had no support at all. So I felt very abandoned from my mom. I felt a loss of connection with my brother, especially with me, like doing a lot of raising with my brother. Like she took my brother from me, you know what I mean? So that hurt me. And then my baby dad's family didn't really accept me right away either because they're very religious. They're like a church going type of a family. And like I'm the total opposite. And they're Pentecostal too. So like they don't cut their hair, they wear skirts. They're very like a cult. To me, that's a fucking cult. But you know, but it was like it was just a time in my life where I just felt very abandoned. But at the same time, I was never the type of person to just give up and live off of the system. You know what I mean? I finished beauty school. I paid it off with dancing. But once I got my license, I left dancing. I focused on my career. And at the same time, like I said, like I thank my mom because I feel like if I would have had my mom, I would be like a lot of these girls that never really got their life together
Yeah.
because they always have their mom to watch their kid and they go out to the club and you know what I mean and do all that. And I didn't have that because I had to really work, and take care of my son. So at the same time, I thank her because I want to be who I am today. But at the same time, like I resent her for not being there for me. At least she could have been there for me through phone and talk to me.
Yeah,
But
for anything. Yeah.
didn't I would go like 2 months without talking to her. She wouldn't even call me. And I'm like, how could you not call at least your first grandchild? How could you
Exactly.
not call to see how your first grandchild was doing?
Yeah.
But then now that I'm older and like I said, I'm a Libra, I see like my mom was still hurt and going through losing, her
Yeah.
husband.
She may have not wanted to like put her damage on you, knowing that
Right.
you're
Well,
already
I think
there.
she just didn't know how to handle it
Yeah.
at all. So
I mean, some people just run away from their problems, and that's just
right.
the way that they deal with that and cope with things. And it's just not going to help anybody else, but it's the way that
Right.
they need to do it, which is
Exactly.
and it sucks because you had to become super independent, and but at an age where you shouldn't have to be independent. But I'm hoping at least it's terrible to hear that he passed away, but did having a kid, even though it was a really hard time and you struggled with it being so young, I'm hoping that at least having like that, knowing that you gave birth to that kid, it brought some type of joy to your life at a
It
time where you
did.
were
It
really
did. And
stressed.
you know what the crazy thing about it is that I think it was like I'm not sure, but I was in high school. I don't remember what birthday it was. Both of my parents love music. Like, so my mom bought me two CDs back when, CDs was a thing. She brought me the Lauryn Hill album, and my mom loves neo soul. So she brought me Lauryn Hill and Erica Badu. And the Lauryn Hill album, she has the song Zion on it. Have you ever heard the song
I
Zion?
haven't.
So Zion is about her son that she's pregnant with, and his name is Zion. And she talks about how everybody in the music industry was telling her she should get an abortion. You know what I mean? Focus on, your career. You're just starting it and whatever. And I actually named my first son Zion because I actually, did the same choice. I, didn't decide to get an abortion. This was the first, my first time that I actually felt like some type of joy through all the bullshit.
Yeah.
So,
Your blessing in disguise.
Yeah, so I named my son Zion off of that song because it really, I really felt it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any relationship with your mom now?
We just built a relationship because of the show.
Oh, really?
And it wasn't, she doesn't watch the show. She doesn't, you know what I mean? Because I sent my daughter because she's a girl, you know what I mean? And I asked my mom, I said, you know, can you take her while I go record this show?
Yeah.
You're a woman, this is my only little girl, you know what I mean? And my mom said, yeah. And it was very shocking to me. And and that's why I said also to the therapist, like, I wouldn't be on this show if it wasn't for her. And
Yeah.
that's what I meant by that. Like, my mom actually, after that, like, I pretty much forgave her without her saying anything to me. Like, that alone, like, doing that for my child meant a lot for me. So
Well, I mean, losing someone too, and then your mom kind of like running away.
mhm.
If you didn't forgive her, it's like God forbid something were to happen to her. You would
Right,
never want to have that regret and guilt
right,
in your mind if something were to
right.
happen. Then you're like, fuck, I never forgave her for that.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
definitely for the better, and hopefully you guys are able to build a bigger relationship
Yeah.
and
I mean,
back to
it's
have
been good ever since that. And I
that's
think
good.
my mom like fell in love with my daughter. So now she calls me all the time. She wants to know how she's doing. You know what I mean? Like, so
Maybe the show is another blessing in disguise. I mean,
yeah.
for
Through
something,
all the bullshit, you know what I
yeah,
mean? This show actually bring me and my mother's relationship together.
good. That's great to hear. I mean, that's it's just another positive thing that you didn't think was going to come your way. I mean, I'm sure you were thinking at one point that you guys were never going to talk again.
No,
That's
yeah.
okay.
Hmm.
Let's get on a lighter topic and get back to the show. I appreciate you
Yeah.
opening up about that, and I'm sure that a lot of people will connect with you that way. And you'll
Hmm.
probably now get a lot of DMs, I'm sure, talking about that because I know that a lot of people are probably going through something similar. You know.
Right.
So let's get back a little bit to the show because we talked about this before about how Jocelyn praised you for your dancing, but she never rewarded you as the captain. Did that ever shake your confidence at all and make you feel like you were being overlooked?
Well, she definitely she gave them the option, and when we were sitting down, after the whole Bosstec thing, she gave them the option of me or Sapphire. And everybody picked Sapphire except Natural. Natural actually wanted me to be captain. Um and I feel like she she that was my opportunity to do it. I don't know why she just didn't give me the title because she gave Dummy the title, she gave Lucky the title, but at this point she gave them, and I think maybe we danced, just equally as good. So she couldn't make a decision. But really it's just because they feel like I'm so like, this side probably was thinking like, oh, she's just gonna be for her and her friends. You know what I mean? Because they think I'm so like neutral. You get what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then, Sapphire and them are probably thinking like, oh, she's not gonna be hard on them like she should be, like, you know what I mean, as a captain. So all of them really feel like I was like too neutral to be a captain, but that's just not the thing. It's just like I'm just, we've only been in the house for 2 weeks. It's just me just trying to figure out
Yeah.
who everybody is still.
But also that might be, even if that, I mean, obviously that's not the case, but
Right. Well, don't you think that would have been a good thing?
I was just gonna say that, like, if you're neutral, that's probably a good thing to be a team leader and be neutral, so that you're not like picking on somebody or calling somebody out or
Mm-hmm.
praising certain people when other people
Right.
have it better. So
Right.
that kind of sucks that that never happened, but I'm sure you would have been a great captain.
Thank you. And
uh,
everybody says that. Everybody, when that
yeah,
episode aired, I got so many DMs and they're like, you've done good every single time you
yeah.
dance. You should have been captain. And I'm
And
like,
a lot of the other girls that I interviewed said it too.
mm-hmm.
What was going through your mind on the final day? Were there any girls that you felt Jocelyn had a good chance of picking over you?
Over me?
Yeah.
No.
I love that confidence.
No, I killed dancing every single time. No.
So I know I'm so mad when I thought everything was going to go down this episode, but they made it a cliffhanger, and we gotta wait till the 11th.
Yeah, I thought this was gonna be the last episode
And I know that I did too, and I know everything that happens. But can you?
because so much of it got leaked out. So much
Yeah,
of it got leaked out because the media that was there that recorded everything, especially since this episode, I think they thought that this was going to be the last episode too. So they want to get out like their videos
right
and
before. Yeah.
all that or whatever. But I we were she pulled everybody out 2 by 2,
Mhm.
and one she was keeping and one she wasn't. So nobody knows what happened. I'm still excited to see next episode. I don't know why Yummy waited to the last day to fight Natural. I don't know why.
Yeah. I mean, you know how? Like, wait, did you see them happen? The fights?
With her and Natural,
Yeah, and the other one too.
the only one that I saw was her and Chanel.
Okay, because what Natural told us, and we kind of see it in the preview. Natural's down on the ground crying.
Right.
It's down, and Yummy hits her.
Oh, so she snuck her.
Yeah.
That was fucked up.
Natural said she punched her in the head and then she pulled her by her locks.
That was fucked up.
Yeah. Okay. I was about to ask you how you felt about that.
That's fucked up. I mean, you snuck her and at her moment of winning. So was it because you were mad because you didn't get chosen? I mean, girl, after you did all that and threw Jocelyn underneath the bus, like you had to know that she wasn't gonna bring you back.
So okay, I wanna ask if I can get anything out of you about the reunion.
Okay, so the reunion was crazy.
Yeah.
The reunion, you would think all the arguments and all that happened on the show was resolved by the reunion, but definitely wasn't. So all those people that had problems with each other still did. The only 2 people that finally called it truce and was like, we're done with all the bullshit was Lucky and Barbie.
Yeah. I was like, what? Out of all the people, really?
Out of all the people, they were the 2 that were just like, we're over it.
Yeah. Do you think that was adult of them and that more people should have done that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So but when you see the reunion, you're just gonna see the same shit again.
Is there anything can you confirm
The same shit again, as in like you're still gonna see the arguing with Natural and Yummy. You're still gonna see Big Lex, not giving a fuck about Aqua not giving a fuck about Big Lex. Same thing with Bosstec. You know what I mean? Like,
what's this that I hear about a candlestick?
oh yeah, Joseline threw a canceled stick at Big Lex because I don't know if you pay attention to like people's posts and stuff, but the episode where Bosstec sat on Ballistic's desk, Big Lex made a post and said that was, I guess, Ballistics for everybody type of like saying, yeah.
And we know that's one thing Joseline does not play about.
She doesn't play about him. So yeah, so that happened.
I heard that and I was like, out of all people, it's Big Lex, because Big Lex was like, when I interviewed her and she always says that she respects Joseline so much. I was like, what?
Right. So it was crazy because like I don't understand where that came from. I really don't understand where that came from. I guess she was just like, fuck it, you know what I mean? Let me say what's on my chest. So yeah, that happened. And it was like out of left field. Like I was just like, I remember the post, you know what I mean? So because around the same post, me and that episode, me and Joseline had a memorial like yacht party.
Yeah.
And she invited me on it and she didn't invite anybody else on it. She wanted to invite us all to have our own party like together. But but it didn't go through. So she had asked me to come basically because I'm like the most neutral type of, person. So she was like, oh, I want to like somebody, from the cast. So she invited me and I had fun. And I saw like a beautiful side of Joseline that day. Like, you know what I mean? I saw her mother, like actually got to see her be a mom, see her, you know what I mean? See how like in love, like her and Ballistic are, everything like off the camera. Like I really got to see, she got to talk about like how like her music and like how she's excited for Vegas. You know what I mean?
You were leaving that there's kind of like a difference between her on camera and off camera.
No, she's the same.
Okay.
She's the same.
Yeah.
She's still a firecracker, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was a good day that day. So I didn't, there was no like she didn't get mad at any, there was nothing, everything went perfect that day. So, it was just a beautiful day. And then it was just a beautiful day. So I just saw like, a good side of her, like the good side of her that I already seen. I already seen that, I just got to see more of it.
Okay.
But when I was on the boat with her, whatever, Big Lex wrote on her stories, I never had to fuck my way to get anywhere. You know what I mean? Or to the top or to my position. I don't know exact words, but basically she was saying that she didn't need to fuck anybody to get there. And I was like, are you talking about me? Because if you think that me, and a lot of people think that, me and Jocelyn, like, oh, me and Jocelyn like did this or did that together because, Jocelyn like thinks I'm beautiful. You know what I mean? The way she acted when I danced for her or whatever. But like, no, like Jocelyn didn't come on to me or, you know what I mean? We didn't do anything. So I was just like it's like girls flirt all the time. And it's so innocent. You know what I mean? Especially us dancers. Every night we flirt. So it's just so like part of our character, you know what I mean, to flirt. And so when she said that, I was like, are you talking about me? And she was like, no, I'm not talking about you. And I'm like, okay, you say you're not talking about me, but it's kind of like you posted it the same day that Jocelyn posted me on the boat with her.
Did
you
that
get
make
what I'm saying?
Look at her differently, Big Lex? How do you feel?
At first, when she did say it, I was just like, yeah, it made me look at her differently because me and her were cool in the house. And I thought like, if she thought that anything between me and Jocelyn was going on, you would think she has my phone number. I would thought like she would have called me and be like, so what's up between you and Jocelyn before she made any type of post. But then when she said that she wasn't talking about me, I was just like, all right, I'm gonna take your word for it. You weren't talking about me. You know.
Yeah.
But that same story feed, and she said that about Ballistic. So then when we went to the reunion and Ballistic was talking to her and telling her like, and you can see it on the show, I was on your side. I told Jocelyn that, I believed in you. You're a good dancer. You stuck up for Jocelyn when it came to Aqua, like you're a writer and all that. So like, I thought it was disrespectful for you to make a post and say that about me. You know what I mean? And all of a sudden, like they started arguing and Jocelyn's not with none of that. So.
Okay, so that's how all that happened. I got one more question about the reunion. I had heard that maybe Natural had chased Yummy off the stage multiple times. Can you confirm or deny?
Yeah, Yummy did leave the stage one time.
Okay.
She did. When she started arguing with her or whatever, and Natural stood up, she did leave the couch.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that Natural had like security guards on.
Because Natural wasn't gonna come on.
Yeah.
She only came, to finally confront Yummy with everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then after we were done recording, at the end, she ran into Yummy again, and Yummy darted out of the place, down the parking lot, and was out. So like all that shit, like Yummy was like, oh, all this and how she snuck hit her, you know what I mean, when she was down, like you just said, or
Yeah.
whatever. Like on like that explains like because you're like to me that seems scary. You're scary. You like you want to talk all this shit, you know, in your interviews and your greens or your confessionals, green screens, whatever you want to call it, because you know we're really behind a green screen. You know, you say all this stuff, but then when you finally confront her, you know, where's that energy at? You get
Right.
what I'm saying?
They keep the same energy.
Yeah, keep the same energy. You know,
Yeah.
like Cardi says, when it's up, then it's stuck. But she ran away from it twice.
Yeah.
So it's like she speaks like she wants the heat, but in reality, she don't want the
Don't
heat.
want none of it. Saying that in the kitchen.
Nope, she don't want none of that heat at all.
All right. Well, I want to play a little game with you. I guess, I mean, I usually do games. I'm just calling this one, whatever. It's a little bit different. But I'm going to name each girl individually, and I want you to give them a piece of advice. Okay. So, first is Bosstec.
Stop bringing up Magic City. Every time she speaks, she brings up Magic City.
Okay.
That's my piece of advice.
It's just irritating.
It's just irritating. It's always Magic City this, Magic City that, Magic City this, Magic City that. And we're like, okay, we get it, girl. You work at Magic City, you love Magic City. Like, at this point, they need to cut you a check, not Zeus.
Where do you work?
Where do you work? Like, yeah.
All right, Sapphire.
Sapphire, your tone of voice. When you speak, lower your voice because it sounds like you're being aggressive and you're mean. You know what I mean? She's very passionate. She's like, ah, but she's not like being aggressive, you know, she just.
Yeah, I noticed that a few times. I was like, wait, she's definitely like talking to these girls normally, but she's
Yelling,
raising her voice. So it's like, wait, I can't decipher whether you're mad or you're just, having a heart to heart with them. I'm a little confused.
right?
All right, next is Aqua.
Do not kick the first time you come into a fight.
Okay, yeah, we talked about that a little bit. Yeah, I can't get over that kick.
Go ahead.
All right, Barbie.
Barbie, don't fight Lucky anymore. And then when you finally get to talk, don't say, this is not, what did she say? Bad bitches don't fight, or it's not grown.
It's like not bad bitch energy or something like that. I forgot.
Yeah, like be about what you're speaking about.
Oh, it's a broke bitch sport.
Right. It's a broke bitch sport. Yeah. So be about what you're speaking about.
Yeah. Okay. Next is Lucky.
Wake up earlier the next time you're a captain and be more focused next time if you do become captain. I feel like that's my word of advice for her. She would have not lost her captain crown if she was, more attentive to it.
Okay, so she just slipped up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How about Big Lex?
Big Lex, think before you speak.
But that's kind of like the positive thing.
I know, but that's like the best character. That's the best part about her.
Yeah, it's like it's a negative and a positive, but it's like I don't know if that was taken away from her, there would be so much missing that like I love it.
Yeah, I love it too. But that's like the only like if you would say anything negative about her, because anything that ever came negative about her was her not thinking before she spoke. But then also the best part about her too. So
what about Yummy?
Be who you are and your what do you call those? Be kind of like what I said about Barbie. Be who you say you are. All that energy that you say in your interviews, all that energy that you had in your confessionals, be about that.
Yeah. Okay, so keep that same energy.
Keep the same energy. I can't say keep the same energy with Barbie because Barbie definitely kept the same energy.
Yeah, I mean,
But
she did
right,
fight,
yeah.
she did fight 4
But
times.
right. But with her, definitely keep the same energy.
Yeah. Okay. What about Miss Natural?
With Miss Natural, kind of like the same thing with, well, I can't say think before you speak, but control your emotions.
Okay.
Control your emotions. Even like when she was crying and she would be very emotional when she cried. I don't think like people got to understand her story because she was so emotional and crying, or when she was mad, you know what I mean? People looked at her differently and aggressive and like, you know what I mean, crazy because of how mad she was.
But she
So
couldn't really express it properly.
yeah, so it definitely for natural is to learn how to control her emotions.
You got any advice for Joseline?
For Joseline, my advice for Joseline would be pick me as captain.
Period.
Period.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna get the job done. Period. That's my advice for Joseline. That's definitely my advice for Joseline. I really, really, really want her to pick me as captain.
Well, you might have that opportunity if season 3, like, would you do it? If they called you today, would you be on that flight?
For sure.
Okay.
For sure. I want to go to Vegas. I want to actually be part of the show. Even the little what you saw and that was just like a mini show of like how she put it together and everything, like in big lights and everything in Vegas. Like how fucking
That's the
yeah.
shit you like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yeah.
hopefully we do get to see you on season 3. I mean, I'm assuming there is going to be a season 3
There
because
better be a
this
season
season
three.
was such a success.
There better be a season 3. Like it has to be a season 3. If there isn't a season 3, that's something that probably didn't go right between her and Zeus Network. You know what I'm saying? Because the show just did so good. And, Joseline's serious about her music and doing this cabaret for a platform for her music is definitely like it has to happen. If she doesn't do it with Zeus, definitely do it maybe, Oxygen or WeTV or somebody.
Yeah, that would be well. I think they put season 1 on WeTV actually.
Oh yeah, they did. They
Yeah.
did.
I
They
don't know
did.
how. I'm trying to think. Like I haven't seen it, and I'm just trying to figure it out because I was talking to J Dreams from season 1. I was like, I'm trying to think of how they put it on WeTV. Like I'm sure they blurred everything out, but like, did you cut out like all the arguments and fights? Because I feel like WeTV is not like that, but I don't know.
Yeah. So are they gonna purchase season 2 because we got a whole lot of nudity, a whole lot of fighting.
They would have to cut out half the season.
Yeah. Yeah, they really would. I, yeah, that's gonna be boring as hell though, because that was all the best parts.
Yeah. Well, this has been a long interview, but it's been actually so much more fun than I thought. I'm actually really excited, and I thank you again so much for doing this and interviewing with me. Before I let you go, though, I want to give you the opportunity to give your plugs. If you want to talk a little bit more about your businesses so that people can find you and what you do. So do all that.
Right. So obviously the only platform I have is Instagram. I don't have Facebook. I don't have Snapchat, any of that. So of course you already know the only Lexi Blow. I also do OnlyFans. So that link is in my bio. And then Prevail Dancewear. That's my store. Even if you're not a dancer, I have more clothes than just that. If you like to go to the club, you like to be sexy, definitely that. The website is www.prevaildancewearllc.com. I ship all over the world. I've had to send stuff to Ireland and London.
That's so dope.
So yeah.
That's awesome.
So
It's a success. That's so cool to say that you the LLC.
LLC. I'm not just some girl who orders stuff and resells it on Instagram. This is a real business. You're gonna get a receipt. Your money's definitely going, what I mean, to the right place, to the right people. So yeah.
That's a lot to be proud of, considering what we talked about, where you came from the beginning,
Right.
you were so young and having all those hardships, and then look at you
Right.
now. You got a good following, you got your own business, you got 3 kids you're taking care of. So I see you doing your thing.
Yep. And then with that said, any girls that, do get into dancing, don't get sucked up into the world of dancing. You only look young and beautiful for so long. Definitely take that money and invest your money. Don't ever think because you're getting paid every day that, oh, I'm just going to make more money tomorrow. Anything could happen to you. You can get into an accident. You might not be able to dance again. You know what I mean? So,
you need that backup money.
right. You
In case,
definitely,
God forbid.
definitely, definitely invest in your money, whether it is to be for education, to do what you always wanted to do, whether it is through charity, whatever you want to do with it, definitely put money aside for it.
Yeah, for sure.
Even if you don't know what to do with it, at least put it away into an account until you are ready for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you definitely have to have a safe backup for anything, and just nothing's worse than living paycheck to paycheck.
Yes. And that's
That's
basically what
depressing.
dancing is. Don't live paycheck to paycheck,
Mhm.
ladies. I
Yeah,
mean, this is a job where we're self-employed. There's no retirement when it comes, we don't have a retirement plan. So
yeah,
make it happen.
yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, so be sure to follow Formation Productions on
For
Instagram.
sure.
Follow
Formation
me.
Productions.
Don't touch my hair. You have to subscribe to our YouTube. This is where all the interviews are going to be, more visuals.
Uh-huh.
And I just want to say again, for the 100th time, thank you again so much. This has been
You're
an awesome
welcome.
interview. I appreciate it. I'm glad
Thank
that we
you.
got to meet and talk. So I'm
Thank
excited for the
you.
fans to see all this.
All right.
Hope we can
Bye.
see more from you soon, okay?
Oh, you're not gonna not. This is not going to be the last of me. It really isn't.
Better not
It
be.
really isn't.
All right, well,
Bye.
soon. Have a good night.
Thank you.
All right, bye. One last thing, guys. I just wanted to give a huge shout out to my friend Micaiah Hillman. I have noticed you and your support with the girls and the cabaret, and also what we do here with Formation Productions and Mo Visuals with our interviews. I've noticed you tune in every single time, and it's funny because I actually just saw your comment pop up on my YouTube. So thank you so much. I mean, not many of my close friends actually watch my interviews, so I appreciate you so much for doing so. And I appreciate everybody else for tuning in and supporting what we do and making these views skyrocket. At least to me, I mean, one of our interviews just hit 54,000 views, and that's a lot for me, for someone that could barely get past 1,000 to begin with. So thank you, everyone, and thank you, Micaiah. Love you guys.